dancing.
I was too. And I was sitting here thinking, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is our last Monday. So I'm
It
gonna be
is.
missing our Christmas music on
Our
Monday.
Christmas music. Yeah, exactly. It's been so fun. It has been so much fun. So,
It really has. It really
yeah.
has. We will have to, like on Mondays, go back and watch our replays just so we can hear the music and still hang out with everybody.
Yeah, especially at Christmas.
Exactly. We got a couple
Yeah.
of good mornings. We got one from
All
Glenda. She
righty.
says, good
Good
morning,
morning, Glenda.
everyone. She says, lovely sitting in my front yard with coffee and my kitties.
Aw,
We was just talking about Nancy's got sunshine and I got clouds. Like, so I'm glad you got some pretty weather, Glenda.
yeah. I'm watching the birds. I've got a little feeder right outside on my deck from here, and I can see the birds just come and they eat like crazy. Raccoons
Oh,
came during the night
of
and
course.
broke the bird feeder chains,
Oh
that
no.
held them up on the, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
Not
Critters.
happy with those raccoons at all. Mm-mm.
I know.
And then, oh my gosh, guess what? And then not only did they break the chain for the bird feeder, but one of them decided it would be cool to chew the deck.
Oh no.
Oh
No.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Always some kind of happenings at the McNally household.
Yeah.
Mary Jo tells us good morning.
Morning. Good
James
morning,
Adams,
Jane.
James Adams says good morning. Pam, Miss PJ is here. She says happy hot Monday. So
Oh,
she's
oh,
got some hot
talking
weather going
South.
on. I can't remember where Pam's from.
Hey, Thomas.
That's actually Bonnie. She's right
Oh,
here in
that's
South
Bonnie.
Carolina.
That's right. I forgot.
I know. I always laugh. I'm like, it's Tom, but no, it's really Bonnie. It's Bonnie. And then, of course, our fine feathered friend, Miss Scott
Oh,
Flanagan.
there's Mr. Scott. What does he say?
He says, oh, the weather outside is frightful and the fire is so delightful. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
Oh
Scott,
my gosh. No.
he'll be getting snow way sooner than any, probably the rest of. Well, I don't know. You might stay up on top of him with the snow.
Yeah,
Or
we can
don't.
get snow by Halloween. So,
Mm.
yeah.
Not so
Yeah.
much. Jane is laughing out loud. Pam, PJ's reminding us west of Dayton, Ohio. That's right. I remember.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Gotcha.
So Glenda says I was able to get my quilt top all together, thinking about how to quilt it. Yes, that
Oh,
is going to
yeah.
be the question. We got a couple more. Oh, we got a newbie today. We've got Steve Baker.
Well, looky there. It's the famous Steve Baker.
He says, howdy, peeps. Yeah, normally he doesn't get to catch us live. He watches us on the replay. So it's nice to
Oh,
know he's
okay.
here live with us. And for you guys that do not know, Steve is actually my brother. He is the VP of marketing at SewEndipitous. He is also a fabric designer.
Hmm.
What else can we say? He's amazing.
When anytime I need help with designing things, I call him. Hey, it's Carolina Quilt Studio. Is that Dale? Hey.
I know. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. It's like the last day is like homecoming week or something. Steve says,
Yeah.
we're just doing some serendipitous work and saw you guys on here. Well, we're glad
Oh,
you popped in.
thank you.
Good morning, Miss Jennifer. And Jennifer, remind me where you're from. I not placing the name with your location, so definitely pop in with that. Now, as the hellos keep coming in, Nancy, I have a few pictures that are Sew Along Sewist have sent you and I that are
Okay.
not using the kit. So remember, guys,
Okay.
Nancy and I asked if you wasn't using the kit, we would love to see some pictures of your quilt
Mhm.
from fabric you pulled out of your stash or from your local quilt shop. Because Nancy, the designer of Woodland Christmas, she loves seeing the quilts in like all different types of fabric. So, Nancy, are you ready for a few little yum yums?
Yes, yes, yes. Please, please, please.
Okay, here's our first one. We
Ooh,
have Mary Jo, and I hope all of you guys can see this. It is so pretty. The border, and
yeah.
I know Nancy, you're a little bit far from your screen. The border looks a little like Stonehenge, maybe. So I'm curious if Mary Jo
Oh,
pops in and says what that border fabric is. But that is
ew, pretty.
absolutely, it's yummy.
Yes,
It is
very.
yummy. Yeah. Okay. So, real quick, the next one that we're going to look at is Megan Shine. Now, on this
Ooh,
one, she doesn't have her last border on, but look how yummy that is. I don't think
it
you can
looks
go
so
wrong with this
good.
quilt, Nancy.
What's that?
I don't think you can go wrong with this quilt, no matter what fabric.
I agree. It's gorgeous.
It is really, really gorgeous. Okay, next is Miss Bonnie Sick, aka Thomas.
Ooh.
Now, I wish this was a little bit closer up picture, and unfortunately, I didn't have that available. But she did hers, Nancy, in all batiks.
Oh, oh,
Yes, it is
ooh.
yummy, yummy, yummy. Okay, Mary Jo popped back. She said, yes, the border on hers is Stonehenge. She had it in her stash, and the inner border is the medium green because I was 22 inches short of the dark green. Well, I'm going to actually flip back to your quilt now that you've said that. I never even noticed that.
It's pretty.
Yeah, no, it looks great. Great
It
job
looks
for
really
sure.
good.
I've got one more close-up block we're gonna show, but I'm gonna do some more good mornings. Miss Reline Parrish is saying good morning, y'all. She's right here local. Lynn says hi from Fort
Good
Mill, South
morning. Oh,
Carolina.
Fort Mill. Yeah.
Dale,
Dale,
you're
there
right.
you
She says,
go.
yeah, she says, good morning again. Didn't realize I was on my business page. Sorry. Hey, we love you being on your business page. That's
That's
fabulous.
right.
And then Jennifer is reminding us because I couldn't remember where she's from. She's in your neck of
Oh,
the woods,
yes.
Michigan.
I don't know where that's at. I'd have to look it up because when Michiganders tell where they're from, they use their hand.
I know
Their hand.
that is true. Okay, so before we get into Nancy's demos and talks this morning, I've got one last one I want to show. This was a close up of Pam's or AKA PJ's Ohio Star Log Cabin block. And I love
Mm-hmm.
that she's got the little snowman reindeer fussy cut in the square of that Ohio Star. Look how cute that is, Nancy.
Yeah, that is super cute. I love it when you can do something like that. Sometimes it's a happy accident, and other times it's meant to be. But I love it.
Yeah, it's so stinking cute. We have some good mornings here from Miss Tracy
Hey,
Perks, all the
Tracy!
way from the
Ah,
UK.
woo-hoo, Tracy!
Steve sends a hello, Tracy Perks. Big hugs. I love it. Jane Adams is on. She says, Jennifer and I are from the Hospice Grinds House group. Did you
Now
teach there?
they are just up the road from me in like the Bay City area, about an hour from me. Yeah, so that's in the thumb part of Michigan.
The thumb part of Michigan. I
You know
love
where the
it.
mitten stayed, so it's the thumb.
Yeah, I love it. And of course, Tracy is shouting back out to Steve. So, guys, thank you so much. We love when you guys talk to us. It just makes it so much more fun for Nancy and
It
I.
does.
But
It does.
Nancy, I'm sure everyone is like me. I'm so super excited to hear what all you're going to bring to the table today as we are bringing this quilt all together.
Oh my
So,
gosh. Yeah.
tell us a little overview of what to expect today. And then I know you're going to be flipping your cameras and stuff.
Yeah. So before we flip the camera so you can see what I've got on my tabletop, um, we're going to discuss different character or decorative stitches that are built into your machine library. My room looks a hot mess in this picture. And a new thing, because I was playing around yesterday, and so I created some samples, and I thought I want to create maybe like a ribbon effect. So
Oh,
what I did, yes. So you won't be able to see this, but I'll show it to you when we get the cameras moved. Most of our machines, probably all of our machines, have a twin needle. And so I played around with using your basic needle, just one single needle. And then I played with the twin needle.
I love a
I
good twin needle.
I loved it. I totally forgot about having that ability and or even having the twin needle. And so I pulled it out and set everything up, and it's like, oh, I really like this. So so I have not quilted my quilt, because I'm still going to show you, because here's mine right here. Because in order to show you what I didn't want to quilt over it. So I'm just going to show you the embellished stitches that I did. And then I'm going to try to get the camera as close as possible so that you can see a couple of other things that I've did. And then I have a different quilt on here, and this other quilt is not, it's not a pattern I have on my website, just letting you know right there. And I made this quilt a long time ago, and it's a UFO because it hasn't been bound. So I'm going to use the faux piping binding on that quilt to show you how to do it. And I've given Lisa the link to my blog post that shows you the dimensions and how I piece my faux piping binding, so that you can go back and look it. You can look at it, you can read it, you figure out, oh, I don't remember the dimensions. Let me go look at her blog. So that will be available for you. I'm trying to think, is there anything else? Oh, okay. Do you see this?
Yes.
So this is a paper towel holder, and this is my binding. So I roll up my binding on here, and then when I go to put it on the quilt, it just rolls right off and it doesn't fall in the floor on me. So
I love how everybody has their makeshift binding rollers. I love it. Lynn says, so glad to live near SewEndipitous. And Lynn, we are excited to have you. And Nancy, Scott is wanting you to know it is still considered done because binding doesn't matter. In his book.
Oh, Scott.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I did also want to say too, guys, those of you that bought the Bumbleberry kits, if you would like some Bumbleberry for the backing, I'm going to throw my email in there. Just email me, or you can email Nancy, and we will work on getting you some Bumbleberry for your backing.
Yeah, I have a few bolts, but they're not necessarily the same color of the quilt. So I use the latte for my backing. So you still have to, you'd have to piece it, but that's that really soft brown, like, when you see a coffee, a latte. Yeah. I love that color. I thought it was perfect for it. So,
I ended up, I don't know how much there is of it, but I ended up scarfing from the Lewis and Irene warehouse some of the red metallic, and that's what's going on the back of mine.
Oh, that sounds pretty.
I may have enough of that for one or two more people if you want it, but I do think I have some of the greens available if you want it for backing. But yeah, I'm putting my email in the blog. Definitely let us know. We got Miss Bonnie Redrick. I think I'm saying that right. She says, hello from Savannah, Georgia. Now I'm sure she's
hey there. All right. One of the things that I think about when it comes to a backing for a quilt is, because I'm a long arm quilter, I also think through the process of what color thread do I want it quilted, and do I want the thread, because the top thread generally needs to match the backing, or excuse me, the top thread. I'll spit it out in a minute. And so, like recently I quilted a customer's quilt and she used a black batting. Where's my brain? There is a blue jay flying across my doors, and I'm seeing him, and he's distracting me. He wants the other birds to go away so he can get to the food. So she used a black fabric backing, and her quilt only had a little bit of black, but it had like the country green, really soft green. It's actually the light green in the bumbleberries. That's what green she had. And so when going through the fabric, I thought, all right, what color? I think I'm going to try to find a light green. And it showed up absolutely spot on, perfect with the backing fabric. So I just thought it turned out really nice. So if you can think through of the color of thread you want to use on the top, that might affect your backing fabric color. Also, some people don't worry about it, but some people do. So just to put that out there, I need to switch the cameras so I can come over here.
I'm going to remove you, and I'm going to be talking to everybody.
All right. See you in a minute, everybody.
We removed Nancy from stage real quick while she flips cameras. I don't know about you guys, but I'm super excited to see her demo on the faux piping binding. Yes, I think I'm saying that right. I've done it before, but I always love seeing how other people do things because you never know the golden nugget that you're going to pick up. And just like Nancy said, when she does get to that portion, I will be posting a link that Nancy has from her website where you guys can get all the information. So if you want to go ahead and take notes, absolutely, but just know you have that backup. And then, like we said, today is the last day. If you do want bumbleberries for the back of your quilt, definitely email me and I will put it back up on the screen real quick. Lisa Renee at lisareneeinc.com. And don't forget, anything that you need, we do ship from SewEndipitous.com. So we are here for you for that. And then if you're loving Nancy's Woodland Christmas pattern, she has tons of other patterns on her website. And as soon as she comes back on camera, because I will probably botch it, but I think it is NancyMcNallyQuilts.com. She'll tell us when she gets back on camera. Or maybe if Steve is still there, he'll post the link for us. What else can I tell you guys other than the fact, thank you so much for sharing the photos. They have been amazing. It's just so much fun to see everybody's work and different fabrics and interpretation. I will say one of the ladies, I don't think she has started on this project yet, but I think she is pulling more of the silvers, the blues, the grays to make it very wintry. So I'm super excited to see how that is going to turn out. Okay, let me pull Nancy back up and see how close she is. Nancy, that looks good.
Okay, good. So you can see, now I'm winding a bobbin right now. So can you see all this area where my hands are?
Yes, ma'am.
And you can see this? And can you see these? Okay.
Yep.
All right. So
there, guys, just so you know, Steve did post Nancy's website link into the comments. Hopefully you can see it because I see he's not doing it through StreamYard. So it's only showing up on Facebook, but I'm going to recopy that. And good morning, Miss Anna Brown, or Ann Brown. Sorry, I didn't mean to say Anna. Ann Brown, we appreciate you being here with us this morning and sewing along.
All right. Let me just put the new bobbin in because I was afraid that I would run out of bobbin thread.
That's how it would happen.
One of the first things you want to do before you try to add any decorative stitches to your quilt is test them first. Always test them first. Not only do you want to test them to see and watch actually how your under your foot, how it works, because you know your needle's going to go back and forth, or your feed dogs are actually going to take the fabric left and right into the angle. It all depends on the stitch. So I recommend you practice first on scrap fabric. Now, where did my samples go? Here they are. So when I test on scrap fabric, now these are like almost neutral colored threads here. I'm going to try to get them in.
Yep.
And what I do is I cut a piece of stabilizer like you would put on the, if you're making a t-shirt quilt, and I put that on the back. And so that's what this is. So it's one side's fusible, and I can't remember the number of it, but it's not an expensive fusible. If you have embroidery stabilizer, you can use that also, but just make sure you know what kind you're putting on here, whether it's tearaway, you know, water, what is it? Water soluble where it dissolves. I would pick one that's really lightweight and it will not add any stiffness to your project. Just because the one thing you have to think about is if it's tearaway or cutaway, you have to be able to get in all of this and cut it away because you don't want to leave it in your project. All right, so I had fun yesterday. So I marked some lines. I'm just going to hold this up. You can see where I played around. I'm assuming you can see. I cannot see what you guys see.
Yeah, it was a little bit blurry, but now we can see. Yep.
Okay, so I played around with threads. So let me grab my threads that I used.
I'm going to interrupt real quick because Brenda, she chimed in and says, "Good morning from your dad and me." Oh, Daddy's
Aw,
on. And Brenda in Virginia. That is awesome. I love it.
that's cool.
Sorry, I didn't mean to
That's
interrupt.
your family, right,
Do
Lisa?
what?
That's your family, right?
Yeah, it's Daddy and his wife Brenda. They're in Virginia, back where I was raised.
Aw, well, hi, Daddy
I know.
and Brenda.
Brenda quilts as well. She does a lot of like quilts of valor quilts and, obviously quilts for family and friends. But yeah, she's a quilter. So she's always checking in, seeing what's going on at SewEndipitous.
Very cool. Okay, so I'm going to place the twin needle back here, and I don't want to lose it because that is honestly the only one I have.
Nancy,
Not that I couldn't get another one, but you know what I mean.
Nancy, can you show
So,
that on your hand and put it up a little bit closer to the camera? Because some people may not, we got some beginners, they might not know what a twin needle is.
okay, can you see that?
Yes.
Okay, so this is the end, obviously, of the needle that goes up into the needle bar, and it will have this little rectangle here. It feels plastic. I'm not certain what it's made out of, but that's what holds the two needle tips together. So there are different size twin needles, and the sizes are the gap that's between them. Okay, because you can get them where they are further apart. You just need to make sure, if you look into that, make sure you have the right foot on your machine and the right sewing plate,
Yes.
because you will break a needle if you have the wrong foot and you have the wrong sewing plate on. You will break a needle. Just remember that.
Yes.
So,
Or even mess up your the shaft of your sewing machine.
oh yeah, the needle bar. Yeah, go ahead. Run, get that timing out of a line. You will not be happy.
No.
Not be happy at all. So, all right, I'm going to put this back on my pin cushion so I don't lose it. There we go. So I found it yesterday in my case where all my feet were, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to use this. Okay, so let's talk about the threads. Now I've got variegated. So I've got this one right here is, let me just move all these. It's kind of hard to hold all these up and do all this. So this one has pinks and purples and some shimmery white in it. So I did this one, and then I did this one right here. I love this one. Now, one of the things that I did before, and this is what I told you, was I made a test piece, and that's this right here. And I was like, yes, I love this, and I think this would be beautiful in the logs. What you need to do before, and so this is what I did. So when I pulled the stitch up on my sewing machine, and it gave me the millimeter width I needed to know what that is in inches. So I literally spoke into my phone, convert such and such millimeter to inches, and it told me how wide the stitch was. I was like, okay, because our logs are, I believe, 1 inch or 1.5. I have to go look at it now. So I didn't want this stitch to be wider. And here's the logs right here. No, there they are right here. Yeah, they're 1 inch. I can just tell by looking at them.
They are.
So yeah, just to remind myself, I just went and grabbed a ruler, and double checked, like, okay, I can't have anything that's wider than an inch. And some of your decorative stitches, you cannot change the dimensions. They're built in the way they're built in. So check on that also. So those things you need to do. Check which sewing foot you have on your machine. Some will require your standard foot. Now, this is my end foot, which allows the larger stitches. And so, like, I had to use that one for that, like that pretty S, whatever name of that stitch is. I don't know the name of that stitch.
We'll call it a scroll stitch.
Yeah, that works. And even the little flower one right here. So when starting out, what you want to take into consideration is if this is a decorative stitch that is in a straight line, how am I going to control that? Am I going to put it right smack in the middle and make sure it feeds as the needle's going around and around and around and the feed dogs are pulling it back and forth? You want to keep it right in the middle. So what I started doing was looking for decorative stitches that had like a curve to them. That way it would be okay to start learning with that. That was my experience, because then you're not expecting it to stay spot on smack in the middle. So if it's got motion to it, then it'll be disguised, so to speak, if it's not landing right smack in the middle, especially when you're just learning this, because you want to practice, practice, practice. So
definitely. Real quick, Nancy, I want to throw in there, you had mentioned earlier about the stabilizer, like for the t-shirt quilts, is a good one. It is SF 101, guys. I did put a link in there for those of you if you want to try that. If you don't have it on hand, it is a Pell-on product, and it is a great one to leave in. And like Nancy says, it does not add weight to your quilt, so that is super nice. Scott has been chiming in the comments, guys, about your machine, excuse me, your machine may have the safety settings. He is correct about that. When I'm saying about you can mess up your machine if you don't do right, just because your machine has the safeties, if you're not telling it that you have a twin needle in, then the safety feature does not help because it doesn't know. So
that's right.
Scott is very correct. It is built in, but there is times we may or may not be using a twin needle, and we're done for the night, go to bed. The next morning we get up and we're going to do something else, and we forget that twin needle's in because we're not used to it, and your settings have went back to default because you've turned your machine off. I'm just saying, double check all your settings.
Yes. And my machine, I'm someone on a Brother Avenir, and I kept like, okay, I know I got to tell it that I'm working or using a twin needle. So I clicked on that feature, and soon as I did that, it grayed out the stitches that I could not use with a twin needle. So that is also very helpful. So yeah, because otherwise I would have been like da 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 and played around and then ended up breaking a needle. So because I'm just like everybody else, I make mistakes. Okay, so we've talked about some variegated threads. Now another thing you want to think about if you're going to use variegated threads, how much color is it going to add to the quilt top? Are you trying to just add texture, or are you trying to add some visual interest? As like this would be visual interest. Even this would, but this is kind of subtle. It's very, very light greens, a little bit of tiny bit of pinks and yellows in there, which is kind of interesting that that's in this collection. But this is the one that I fell in love with, was this yellow. And then this one is a variegated of creams. Can you see that?
It doesn't show up variegation. It just shows up cream.
Okay. It's got creams and tans and a little bit of white in it, and it showed up so pretty. So I did the twin needle with these two colors right here, and I love what it did. And I also did a triple stitch. And meanwhile, I learned that I have Sashiko stitches in here. So I'm like, I know what I'm going to do. Okay. So another thing, now, if you pick a green, say you want to embellish your, let's pull this down a little bit. Let's say you want to embellish your trees. I would decide if you're going to use a color that stands out, or if a color that's going to blend, because you can probably find a stitch in your machine that will offer like a curve, like an arc that just gives a little bit of embellishment on here, just to add some visual interest. Don't do a whole lot, because what happens is you create too much and it's distracting, and then the weight of the quilt also gets affected. Not a whole lot, but enough to where it would be noticeable, I guess is the best way to say it. So don't overdo it. Start with simple. be very simple with this, because when you take this, if you take it to the long arm quilter, they are going to stitch over what you've done if you're having an edge to edge. And if you do custom, then they're going to charge you more, but then they can not sew over those areas. Okay. All right. So I made 2 test things yesterday. I'm going to see if I can get these closer to the camera here. All right. So Lisa, you tell me what you can see and what you can't see. Can you guys see this one right there?
That one I barely can see. I know there's something stitched there, but can't see it good because I think it's a lighter thread. Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, I chose not to do this one because of it's too straight, so to speak. I'd have to keep it aligned perfectly. And when you're learning this, it's like, yeah, I'm not going to focus on that. I want something that's not going to cause me stress. And then I found these little Christmas trees. Can you see these?
Yes, those are adorable. That's a great stitch.
Yeah. And you've got some Christmas stitches in the Epic 3, which would be perfect also.
Yes.
Here's the snowflake right here. And then can you see the green right there?
Yes.
Okay, that's
really
just
what it is.
Yeah, it's just a triple stitch and it just adds a little bit of texture.
Yeah.
And so I played around with those. And then with this one, okay, you're probably not going to be able to see it because they're all blended. I mean, because this is right here. This says Merry Christmas. And
it's
I thought, that would be, yeah. So I'm sorry. Otherwise, I would have chosen a brighter stitch. But I just programmed that into the Brother and it stitched it out so fast. I thought, oh, that's cute. We could put that as, you got to do your label on the back of the quilt. Yeah. So that's another idea. Do your label on the back of your quilt. Now, if you've never done labels, it's not hard, but people that do binding, Scott, they know that the binding goes, or excuse me, the label goes on while you're sewing the binding, Scott.
Hint, Scott. Mama J said that Mama J, aka Andrea, said she will be hand quilting hers when she gets around to it. She goes, it may be next year before it's finished, but she is excited to get started on that. Yeah, hand quilting is another great way. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So then, now what I did was you might be able to see the red lines that I drew on this piece of fabric.
Faintly, yes.
Yes. I'm trying to get closer and closer.
There you go.
Okay. So this is the serpentine stitch where my thumb is right here. And I used 2 threads. So I used the twin needle. And I love that. I thought that turned out really cool. And then here's that swirl stitch, that scroll.
Yeah, scroll. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And I love it in the variegated thread. And I use the cream color variegated thread. So,
and I like how big that stitch is. You're really covering some surface there as well.
Exactly.
And Scott's firing back and saying he doesn't do labels either.
Scott. All right, guys, you heard it. He doesn't do labels.
I know.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my machine set up. So Lisa, if you could chat for a few minutes, and I'm going to program it with the twin needle, and I'm going to do, actually, no, I'm sorry. I'm going to do that scroll stitch. Okay. All right. So if you can talk to everybody while I get set up, it doesn't matter to me if you want to keep me on camera.
It's yummy what you got going on there with that Dresden plate. We're all
you can see that.
That's so yummy. I want to see the whole thing now. That's like fabulous.
Okay, I'll show you.
Oh, hold on. Let me take you back to full screen. Hold on. Okay, go.
Okay. All right. Sorry, I just put it right over the camera. Okay, so I have a full one right here, a full Dresden. Okay. And then the rest are halves that are rounded. Cute. And notice I used 3 colors. Look at these threads. I used 3 colors, 3 purples, 3 reds, and the teal and the green. Now here's the teal one. This one's my favorite one. If I can get it to hold up. There we go. Can you see that one?
Yes, yummy.
Okay.
Even the stitching on it, the quilting, is adds so much to that.
It does. And I don't remember what the name of that one is. It's one of those, it's built into my Anova.
Oh,
And then
God.
I made the mistake. See, look, I make mistakes. I forgot, and I didn't watch it when it got here, and it pulled that back. So
You can pick that one stitch out. It'll be fabulous.
yeah, no.
Yes, yeah, no. Okay, I'm going to remove you from solo screen.
Okay.
Mama J. Andrea says, I designed my labels and then sent the image to Spoonflower. I like it. To have them printed, print them onto white quilter's cotton for me. I ordered enough to last me the rest of my life. I love that. You know,
That's
so many times here, we're always preaching to the girls in the shop and the guys in the shop. Label your quilts. Everybody, you know, I know it takes a little extra time, but it adds so much to the quilt. And then as time passes, the information is right there. I'm guilty myself of not labeling some quilts. I wish I had done it from the very beginning, especially the ones that I have gifted away that I would have, you know, labeled them. But definitely get in the habit of label them for sure. But that's a great idea, Andrea. Thanks for sharing that with everybody. I really honestly wouldn't have thought to do that. And I don't know why I wouldn't have, because our local quilt guild, they also, I think Spoonflower does their quilt labels, and they put one on all the quilts that are made for outreach. And yeah, it didn't even enter my mind. But also having individual labels, maybe with a sweet message to whoever you're gifting the quilt to, is a great idea too, as well. Andrea, I would be curious on that label, if there's a place for you to write in maybe the date of the quilt or a special note, or if it just says, you know, made with love in your name. But yeah, I would love to know that information. So Nancy, are we doing decorative stitch, or are we doing the faux piping binding?
I'm going to do a little bit of a decorative stitch.
Okay.
And then we're going to go right to the faux piping binding.
Okay, perfect.
All right. I just have to move one more thing because I need a little bit of room. All right. I don't know if I'm back on camera or not.
You are.
Oh, well, hi, everybody. Oh, geez, I totally forgot to remove all this stuff. I keep all my little things that I need right here with me. Everything stays right here, so it's all within reach.
I do the same thing. I'm bad about putting stuff on that far end of the neck of my sewing machine. And then when I've got putting my quilt top together, then I'm like, oh, I need space, and I have to move it all.
All right, tell me if you can hear the guy. He's coming by.
You're good.
My word, I didn't know. Oh, Bruce is running. He's like, oh my gosh. Okay. He's afraid. We got like the people to take care of the lawn to, you know, fertilize it. Oh, this is annoying. Okay.
You're fine. We can't hear it. Keep rolling.
Okay. All right. Thanks, hon. That was Joe.
Hey, Joe.
All right. So here's what we're going to do. I've got it threaded. I'm using the variegated thread. Can you see, is any of the quilt like too puffy? Can everybody see it?
No, you're good.
Okay. So I'm going to pull this out. So here's the angled seam. I'm not going to stitch in here. I'm going to start inside of this, and I'm going to go a little bit further down. I don't want it to start right here, because if you study the stitch, it starts and then it does like a what am I trying to say? A single stitch, and then it swoops up and comes around. And if I don't have it positioned in the right place, because let's just say it's a letter S, that S, the top of the S comes up into the green. So I'm going to start further down so that it works. Now, if you have one of those machines that has
the projection,
like a guide beam, like a laser, or these special pins where you can tell the machine where to stop and start it, by all means use it. But not everybody has that. So we're just going to do basic. Okay. We're pretending that we're not doing anything like extra special here, as in trying to force somebody to buy a machine.
No, you're just giving ideas. Totally.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to stitch in place. So I touch my button. All right, so now we're going to start. I'm going to pull this back up here so I can see it just a little bit. Here he comes again.
Bonnie 6 says, I forgot about double needles. Haven't used them in many years. Super idea. She says, Epic has the setting. So boy, going to play today.
There you go. There you go.
And that's the whole thing that Nancy really is trying to project right now. It's just sparking inspiration and ideas for you guys to play, and maybe not on this quilt, but on a smaller project. So you're using what you already have.
Oh, it's so pretty. I just love it. I'm only going to do one.
Yes, so we can see it.
Yes.
Now, which thread did you decide to use, Nancy? The white variegated one?
Yeah, the cream variegated, because it adds just enough texture so that even when it's quilted, somebody will still go, oh, what is that?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to see if I can't hold it up here. Oops. I'll try one more time. It was stuck. All right, can you see that?
No, pull it down a little bit. Oh, yes. Okay, there we go. Yes. Cute.
So now just picture a line of these just filling that log, and then, oh, it's stuck again. Here we go. Now, I'm going to bring it in closer. Can you see this line right here?
Yes, use the serpentine or serpentine.
Yes, the twin needle with the serpentine stitch, and I elongated it just a little bit.
Yeah.
And so I'm only going to do stitching in this log, nothing here and nothing here, but I've got that going right on the seam allowance. And for me, that'll add just enough visual interest to finish that. And again, if you want to go do something on your trees, by all means, that would be a really good place to do some pretty stitching.
Oh, absolutely.
All right. And let me plop this over off on the other table, and I'll be right back. Now we're going to do the faux piping binding. Okay.
She says,
I'm so excited. Now remember,
I have this link in, Nancy.
Yes. Oh, I did. There we go. All right. Put this down there. Okay. Tell me when you're ready.
We're ready whenever you are.
Okay. So there. All right. I chose some colors that you can see. Now, these are the two pieces that I have not put on my little paper towel holder, and I wind it up. I just use the clips to hold it in place. That's all. The one extra thing I do is I have shelf liner that's like the grip stuff, and I just place that underneath so that when I'm pulling this off, this doesn't slide anywhere on my table. Yeah. That's all I do. Okay. All right. So here's how you make it. Number one, you decide your two colors that you're going to use for your faux piping binding. You would think that the wider binding is actually the wider width is actually your binding fabric, but it's not. That's the piping fabric. So your more narrow fabric, which I use the dimensions, the piping is my purple, or excuse me, dang it. The binding is my purple. Sorry. I cut it at 1.5 by width of fabric. Okay. The binding, which is this teal, I cut it 1 3/4. So it's this color right here. So I sew them together. Now here's how I sew them together. Let me take this off.
Wait 1 second, Nancy. So just to recap, because I think you double spoke on the binding. The purplish one is actually the binding, and the teal, jade, whatever that is actually the faux piping, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. Perfect. Okay. And it, again, I have really good pictures on my website, and the information for the width and everything that you need is there. Okay. So I'll take this out. There are people out there that say you need to sew all the binding strip fabric together and then all the piping fabric strip together. I was like, I'm not doing that. That would drive me nuts. So I just take my 2 strips. I take the binding strip and the piping strip, and I sew them together. So this quilt needs 5 binding strips of each color and 5 of the faux piping. So I just made 5 pairs. That's all I did. It's that easy. Is everybody with me?
Yeah.
Okay. Then you're going to do your miter just like you would normally when you have to sew your ends together. So I just sew them. I place them on top, trying to keep this where you can see it. I draw my diagonal line, but here's what the trick is. Your binding fabric needs to be the one that goes face down. And so when you're looking at it, like right here, I'm looking at it, the binding fabric face down goes to the left.
Oh, good point.
And the teal goes to the right, or your piping. And when you open it, can you see?
Fabulous.
Every time I do this, I check which one to make sure. Even though I know it, I still doubt myself.
Yes.
And I do that. So I just joined all of them together like this. Then you trim all this off. And it doesn't matter if you use scissors or a rotary cutter. So we're going to trim this off, or use bigger scissors than what I have in my hand. Discard that because you're really not going to need that. And then you have to press this open. Now, when you press your 2 strips, when you sew your 2 strips together, and it says this in my blog, you want to press the seam allowance towards the binding fabric, not the piping fabric. That's important. Okay? You're not pressing it open. You're pressing it towards the binding fabric. All right. So we have this. We're going to pretend I'm pressing this open because I don't have my iron on right now. So you're going to press that open, and then you're going to take, let me find the end here. Here we go. And then you'll take and you'll fold it over, and then you're going to press it in half. So I'm just going to use this pin right here to hold it in place. Now, here's your piping right here. Can you guys see that? Can they see that, Lisa? Okay.
Yes,
all right. So now let's attach it to the machine. But I'm going to make an adjustment. So I need to remove this and put my walking foot on. So I also recommend that you guys do your walking foot. If you want to, if anybody's got any questions, Lisa, while I'm changing this over.
If anybody's got any questions, please pop them into the thing. And if you tuned in the last 5 minutes and you're like, wait a minute, that's not a Woodland Christmas quilt. She's only showing the binding on this quilt because she does not have the Woodland.
It's not quilted
yet. That's the word I was looking for. She doesn't have it quilted yet. So this is just for demonstration purpose. And it was funny, Nancy, when you were showing the piping, the 2 strips of fabric for this, I was like, I haven't made my binding yet, but a little red.
Oh, yes.
Green.
Oh, yes.
Wouldn't that be pretty?
That would be very pretty. It would just add that little touch of bling, if you will.
Yeah, a little sass.
There we get that turned
on. And then,
of
course, up next to the light green, because for mine, the binding is that dark green, and any of the kits that SewEndipitous did. And guys, also, we do have a few kits left. And also, let me put the link in for the pattern as well. For those of you that this might be the first day that you have shown up, found us, whatever, and this way you too can make this quilt. And all the videos for all the blocks live on Nancy McNally Quilt YouTube channel or on SewEndipitous. So you can go back.
It's plural. It's quilts.
Quilts. Sorry. Yes, I meant to ask you that when you came back on camera a while ago. I was like, I know I'm going to say it wrong.
quilt.
Scott Flanagan says, or a red and white strip for the piping so it looks like candy
Ooh.
cane. Mm,
That's a
that's
good suggestion.
that's a good
Okay.
suggestion.
Thank you, Scott. All right. Oh, I got to pick it up. I almost knocked it off the table. All right. So to attach your faux piping binding, you're going to attach it to the back first. Just wait till you see this fabric.
It's fun.
It is fun. It's a Wyndham backing. And it was a scrap backing from another project. So I'm like, I'll just use this. It'll fit perfect. Okay. So I don't know. Can you see this far over? Like
Yeah.
where my hands are? Okay. All right. So I have my faux piping binding here. So we're going to pull this off. And now, you know, when you do your binding, you always sew with the raw edge out. Okay. Yeah. I always have to do this. I lay it down and go, okay, so if I lay it with the faux piping down and I flip it over, guess what? I've made the faux piping as the binding. So does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to give myself some leeway here. I don't have the whole thing sewn or not. I don't have all my binding sewn on here. So let's see here. All right, I might need just a little bit more. There we go. All right, so you want to sew it with the binding down. I'm going to have to pull this whole thing off.
That's all right. While you're getting that ready, Liz says Sweetwater does custom labels that are iron on. Thanks.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's cool. Okay. All right. So now when you do your binding, you know, don't start at the corner. Give yourself some leeway. Now I just have white thread in here and I'm just going to leave the white thread for right now. So I have my walking foot on. I'm going to secure it. And now I have a 1/4 inch foot for my walking foot. And I also have an open toe and I have a ditch foot. I'm going to use my 1/4 inch foot for right now. All right, I'm going to put it under here. Make sure my clip is past my foot. Where is it at? Yep, there it is. All right, so I'm going to sew just a few inches and then show you what it looks like when you flip it around. So I have the binding down because when you fold it around, you want your piping to show. Does that make sense? It's got to show. So test it first before you do all this. All right, it's hitting some fabric that I have at the other end of the table. Okay, pull that out. Now we're going to take it, fold it over, pull all of this around. It's fun doing all this on camera, isn't it?
I know, right? A limited space.
Yep. Okay. Now we've got this. We're going to fold it over and you're going to fold it over. And look, can you see that?
Yes, nice.
Okay, hold on. We're not done yet. Wait. All right. I'm going to put a clip here and I'm going to put a clip down here to hold it in place. That's as far as I can go because I didn't sew much further. So your next, that's my tablet. So your next thing is thread choice. Yeah. Because we're going to be stitching in the ditch right here. And that's how you do that. You stitch in the ditch where this seam is, where your piping fabric is and your binding fabric is.
Can you hold
right
that up
there
to
in
the
the
camera
ditch.
just a little bit, Nancy, so they can see it at a better angle?
I'm going to put a clip in it so it's easier to see.
There you go.
All right. So you're going to choose the right thread color that will blend in that seam. Now I've chosen a teal, jade, whatever color you want to call this. I will have to go find that thread. Just saying. I'm sure I have it in embroidery thread, but for the moment, I'm going to be really brave. I'm going to use white thread so that you can see where it needs to land. Okay.
Yes. And that's what they
All
make seam rippers for. You can rip that out afterwards.
right. All right.
So
I'm going to go ahead.
I was going to say, while you're changing your thread and stuff, Bonnie Sick was so kind to send us an image of what she's using for her backing fabric.
Oh,
Yeah, so
and I
she's the
can't
one
see
that,
it.
yeah, she's the one that did all batiks on the quilt top. So this batik tree print is so adorable. It's going to be perfect for the back of her quilt. Bonnie, thanks for showing that.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. I think Bonnie's, hang on. I think Bonnie is in my Sew Anyways Facebook group.
She probably is. You know, the SewEndipitous gang loves them some Nancy.
Well, thank you. All right. I'm just putting a pin in this because the clip gets in the way of the back of the digital dual feed walking foot. Okay. So I'm going to be really brave, and I'm just using white thread because I want to be able to show you where you need to land.
I love that you're justifying using the wrong thread color on camera in case there's quilt police on here.
I know.
But we know that you're just doing it for demonstration purposes. This is not the color that is going to end up on this quilt.
Exactly. Okay. I have dropped the needle right in the seam, right there. And then we're going to stitch. We're crossing our fingers. Wish me luck. I can keep it there. Now, when you're doing this on a quilt and you're trying to stay right in that ditch, I would recommend that you like lay as much as you can in your lap.
Yes.
So that gravity is not against you in working with this. Don't stitch slow. Turn your speed down if you need to so you can focus. Okay. All right.
I agree with slow rolling that for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Now,
You
Nancy,
do want to lock your stitch in.
While
What'd you
you
say?
are sewing that, quick question, because you know we're going to be asked.
Yes.
This quilt that you're actually doing the binding on, is that a pattern that's on your website?
No, not yet.
Okay, so it's coming, guys. It's coming. I was just going to post the link if it was, because you know how us quilters are. We see something, we're like, oh, we need that pattern.
You know what? I actually submitted this to a magazine twice.
It's yummy.
And they didn't want it.
You know, maybe because it's more to the modern side. It's a traditional block, but because of the color and the way you've spaced it out, it's modern.
It is modern, and that's what I love about it. And I've got some few modern designs coming.
Nancy McNally with modern designs. I can't wait
Yeah.
to see it.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Matter of fact, I pulled fabric for one of them yesterday, which is all sitting on my ironing board right now.
All in the staging, ready to go.
Yes, I can't wait to start making them because it's not me. All right, so I'm gonna stop here.
A non-Nancy thing.
Okay, I'm going to show you when you sew too fast what happens, because I just did it on purpose so I could show you. I'm coming in close. So can you see where I made that mistake right there?
Yes.
Okay, I sped up and you can see it's white thread. So whatever thread color you use for the piping, and if you speed up and mess up, it's going to show on the binding. And if you don't care, well, that's fine. So now I don't know if you can see the rest of it.
Bring it down just a little bit. Oh, good, good, good.
All right.
I like it. Yeah, it looks good. Really, you almost don't even see the thread where you did it in the ditch, to be honest.
Right. And another little thing you could do, because I was thinking about this, if you wanted to add something really interesting to the piping, I think Susan Cleveland does stuff like that. If you've never heard of her, might be worth checking her out. You could do like another type of decorative stitch that would keep the piping secured down, because once it's washed, it does actually, it'll start moving up just because of wear and tear and being in the washer, or if you put them in the dryer or whatever.
Right.
So you could secure that down with maybe a blanket stitch or a zigzag or something different. Because my thought process is we pay for these stitches. They come in our machines. I love using them.
Absolutely.
So
Back to your modern thing, Scott says, yes, she did. It's going to be awesome. And he says, it's very non-Nancy.
it is. It is. It is. It is. I can't wait to make it. And it's going to be simple at the same time, but it's all color placement that makes it modern. So I'm actually making it out of batiks too.
Oh,
So,
I can't wait.
Yeah. All right.
Rita with Crystal Dragon House of Creations is giving us a big old wave. So welcome, welcome.
Thank you for joining us.
Absolutely. So Nancy, I have removed you from solo screen. So we're both here.
Okay.
We're at our hour. Is there anything else that we need to share with everybody as we're bringing this all together?
Let's see. Everybody, we did everything when it comes to pulling the quilt together. That was last week. We talked about borders, and that's why we did binding today. You've got the links up if somebody just wants the PDF pattern from my website, or they can actually get the physical pattern where they come into your store and purchase it, right?
Yep.
Okay. You got the fabric kits up. Don't forget to share on social media and tag us so that we know to come grab your, come look at your pictures. That excites me.
They can always post them though on your, what is the Facebook Sew Anyway with?
It's Sew Anyways with an S on the end of it with Nancy McNally.
Yes. And, or you can do it Citizens of SewEndipitous, and those both are Facebook.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Miss Mary Jo says, oops, hold on. I hit the wrong button. Mary Jo left me. She says, thank you so much for these last several weeks of instructions. Mary Jo, you're so welcome. It's been so fun.
It has been fun. It's been a lot of fun. I can't think of anything else. Thanks, Louis and Irene, for sponsoring Woodland Christmas. The fabric is scrumptious.
Scott Flanagan says, I never got to sew along, but it's been fun just watching you both. And for you guys that don't know, the reason we harass Scott is because he is the owner of 4th and Main Designs. If you don't know Scott, definitely go check him out. Some wonderful patterns. And he's at all the big shows, so he always has a booth. You can find him.
Yes, he does. He will be at AQS Grand Rapids the 20th through the 23rd. Is that right, Scott?
Michigan people sound alert.
Yes. Whoop, whoop, I'm going.
Yeah. Mama J says, thank you so much, ladies. Be blessed, less stress, and pet some fabric today. I always love it. Lewis says, this has been fun and educational. We hope so. We really do.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you. Thank you. I love it. I love it.
Absolutely. Guys, that is it for Nancy McNally and Lisa Baker for this Woodland Christmas Sew Along. But always remember, you can replay, rewatch anytime. Have a watch party with your quilting friends. Definitely, you can find them. I know, right? You can find them on Nancy McNally Quilts YouTube page or on SewEndipitous YouTube page forever and ever. On our Facebook pages only for 30 days because Facebook does take those down. And Miss Bonnie Sick is throwing us some woohoo hand clapping.
Woo-hoo!
I know. And Scott answered your question and said something like that. So he's not sure the dates, but he will be there.
Yes, he will.
Guys, that is it. Let's dance on out with our Christmas music, and we will see you next time.
Bye, everyone.